Helena Harper was one of several characters to be introduced in what is arguably Capcom's most divisive title to date, Resident Evil 6. Pairing up with series mainstay Leon Kennedy, Helena was something of a mysterious presence to us for a good chunk of the campaign. Her story having a close tie to the plans of Derek Simmons, and specifically the death of the then United States President, Adam Benford. However, while her tale in the game is a really interesting one to delve into, today I'm more so going to be taking a look at her potential for a return to the series in the future, should Capcom ever deem her worthy.
Hunnigan.
Thank God you're both all right.
How do you two know each other?
That's Helena Harper. She's been with the Secret Service since last year. I can't tell you how good it is to hear you two are all right. Look, I hate to rush introductions, but I need a report on your situation.
So to start, let's first talk about where we left off with Helena after the events of the 6th game in the series. As you may recall, Helena's tale ended at the grave of her sister, who had been taken by Derek Simmons as leverage to force her into participation of his plans to assassinate the president. This involvement in Simmons' plans, willing or not, had led her to the assumption that after her mission with Leon, she'd be taken into custody. Luckily for her though, Leon the ladies' man, now understanding the scope of her situation, had pulled some strings to get her off the hook, freeing her from all her previous entanglements and giving her a new chance to help those in need. This is unfortunately the last that we've seen of Helena. Where she went after being freed from her past is almost a complete mystery, and leaves the door open for possible future adventures. As for if we'll see those adventures, that's a bit more questionable. I'll go ahead and tell you right now that out of any character that hails from Resident Evil 6, Helena's story has the most finite conclusion. By that I mean, what can be done with Helena in the scope of what we know about her has already been done. We knew that she had a sister, that was the entire crux of her journey. And during the course of her journey, her sister was mutated into a bioweapon and subsequently killed. She then put the grief from that event into the other thing that we know about her, that being her connection to Simmons. She set out for revenge on the man who'd taken Deborah, and by game's end, that revenge had been attained. Beyond those two connections, the only lingering thing that could possibly be done with Helena is to partner her up with Leon again, or give her some kind of involvement similar to Hunnigan's. However, since she's a field agent, she presumably has little connection to Hunnigan's department, and as for Leon, his roster of ladies is already bursting at the seams, so I don't think we'll be seeing any more interactions between the two.
I'm fine.
This means that the only possible place to take Helena would be in a tracking down of Simmons' organization, the Family, for further revenge, or much more likely, a new adventure entirely disconnected from her adventures in 6. In terms of a potential return of the Family, that seems entirely outlandish, considering we learn next to nothing about them in the game they originated in, so I highly doubt they'll ever make a return. Which really only leaves us with the possibility of a new, disconnected adventure. Now, personally, I don't think that this is ever going to happen. Helena's story is so finite that bringing her back would really only be fan service to the people who were big fans of 6. And seeing as 6 was arguably their most criticized game in the main series, I don't see that happening. So, should Helena return? Unfortunately, she doesn't really have anything to do if she did. But I'd like to see her regardless, even if it's just a cameo in a future game, or maybe a CGI movie.